Great. Well, welcome everyone. It's great to have new faces here and faces I've seen before. I won't say old faces. Um, sorry. Um, so I don't have an agenda for today because we've done the same thing every year for many years where we've talked about what are things we can do to make the statistics initiative more high profile in the Math Alliance. And every year we've come up with some really good ideas and we've assigned people to run with them. And every year we come back and we have the same discussions. So I didn't want to keep having the same discussion for every year again. And so I'm going to talk about, for those of you who are not in stat departments, and I wanted to talk a little bit about one of our goals today was actually to try to educate some of our mathematician friends about what is necessary for a student to come into statistics or biostatistics. So I'm going to talk a little bit about that. And then I'm going to open it up for some discussion. I've already talked with some people about things we can help do here at the Field of Dreams conference to have more presence for statistics and biostatistics. And so I want to talk about some other initiatives that we can do that are follow the model of the Alliance that have lots of involvement, but a low level of involvement. So we need to find ways to promote ourselves in the Alliance that allow more visibility, but without anyone having to take on a big burden of work, which has been Phil's philosophy the whole time about how the Alliance should work. So let's start with math and stat and that relationship. So first of all, I want to point out that statistics is not the field to go into for students who are not good math achievers. Students need to be really well prepared, and part of that is doing well in a math curriculum in their undergrad. And so there is this misconception that if students are not doing as well in math, that maybe statistics is the right field for them. And so I see a lot of my colleagues shaking their heads. It's not the case. So first of all, we are looking for students who do well in their undergraduate, and now for each program it might be a little different, but for most biostatistics programs, we're looking for students who have 3 semesters of calculus and a course in linear algebra. And that's the minimum math that's really typically required. For stat programs, is that the same, or are you looking for real analysis? Or
we don't necessarily look for real analysis, but if they have it, great.
What about at Virginia? Similar?
I don't deal with the admissions so much, but real analysis used to be a part of the program, but it's not anymore, so I think it is more on the application side now.
And others? Yeah.
For us, it's strongly recommended but not required.
Okay. And I know when I was looking at PhD programs over 20 years ago, more than that, it was also similar that it was at Michigan where I went that it was strongly encouraged but not required. So that's really the math that a student needs. And there's also a misconception that to go into biostatistics in particular that you have to have biology, and that's not the case. So we don't look for biology or biological sciences. We look for a desire for a student to apply statistics to biological problems, whether that's medical research, genetics, genomics, informatics, a wide range of problems, but all focused around health or medicine. And so having that as a foundation, I've talked to several students today actually who say, well, I want to do applied math, I want to do biomath. And I'd say, oh, do you know about biostatistics? And they'll say, oh, no, I think I want to do biomath, but what's the difference? And so having a good understanding of what the difference is, it's hard for me too, but it's the types of models that we're using are different than the types of models mathematical modelers are using. And so we're using models based in probability theory with distributions, whereas mathematical modelers are using more differential equations type modeling. And actually I keep talking about the MBI at Ohio State and saying, go to the Ohio State table and talk to them. They should have a clear, help understand what the difference is between math biology and biostatistics. So I think it's really important, and as you talk with your colleagues in your home institution, as you guide students to have an understanding, and if you don't, that's okay. I definitely don't understand the different fields of mathematics very well. But I know that if I have questions, I have colleagues in math departments that I can turn to and ask them to help my students. Similarly, I hope that if you have students who express interest in statistics or biostatistics, that you reach out to some of the mentors in the Alliance and ask them to speak with your students. And that's really why we're all mentors, is because we want to do that work. Questions or anything anyone wants to add about that? I
Well,
think.
Leslie, when you were talking about biology, I would go even farther and say that it's absolutely not a requirement that a student who's majoring in, say, math has had a statistics class of any kind.
That's right. Thank you. No, that's a great. And in fact, if they have, so again, Ofer and I were talking about this earlier, that a lot of students, when they find out what we do, say, "Oh, I had one statistics class and I hated it. It was terrible." And then or probability class. All I learned to do was count cards. And so helping them understand, first of all, that with all due respect, statistics or probability class taught in the context of the math department is quite different than a statistics or probability class taught in a stat or biostatistics department. And also that's not the whole field. That the field is much more than just what that one class is. And so like for me, I have probability as a math major, I have a probability class, and really we learned how probability of different programs. That's pretty much what my whole semester of probability was. And lucky for me that I was able to look past that and think about what else it could be, because I might not have ended up in a field that I love. So, Laura.
So that is having one class in statistics probability is something that we look for students who apply. It could be that they're saying they're going to take it before they come, but so there would be variability in that.
Yeah. So that is something, I guess, when we're talking to students about programs, to make sure that they look into as they look at different programs. We at Drexel don't require, because a lot of, I did not have options in statistics departments when I was an undergraduate. Even at the University of Kansas, a large public institution. So a lot of undergrads, particularly at smaller colleges, may not have options to take stat or probability or biostatistics class. So we don't look for that. I think we differ program by program. So of course, what I always tell students is you're going to PhD research. Make sure you're doing research when you're looking for a PhD as well. So a PhD program. Any other thoughts about this?
Well, on the other side of the balance sheet, the more coding and computer that they have, the better as applicants.
I think that's true probably in math programs now too, that everybody's looking for people who have background with coding and computer science. And certainly we teach that, but having that foundation is really important. I think students coming in now from their undergrad to their grad programs have more experience coding now than I do. It's a little crazy. Andy.
I don't know if this is the right time for this question, but first of all, one comment, one of my former students, he was saying that he's teaching high school now, and so he had taught AP statistics course, and a student was trying to decide when he was going to a program, did he need to take biostatistics? So my former student said, what's biostatistics? I said, that's like asking me what's math. Like, I took a math course, so do I need another one? So I think it can range, and I don't know how general it can be, like if you're taking one course. But another question I have is, what makes something legitimate mathematical sciences for the purpose of alliance? For example, suppose in public health, if you're doing the epidemiology, biostatistics piece, I think it's very mathematical, but then you could flip over in other areas of public health where it's not. So what is well, I don't want to say
So
everything.
can I just maybe share with, so we've been talking with Phil and David a lot about Penn State, and at Penn State, there's this surge of interest in all sorts of quantitative fields, and it goes from the social sciences to this College of Information Sciences and Technology. We have a representative from that college. We have a representative from our engineering college. We're thinking out loud about trying to get our Earth and Mineral Sciences College involved, Ag Sciences. So I would say anything that's got a quantitative bent to it, for which a math major would be well qualified, is automatically interesting. I hope I'm getting exactly right.
Any program that would like to improve anything.
And frankly, if a student ends up in a program where they're going to be happy and successful, then that's a success.
I agree.
That's it. But exactly what he said, we hope all of our undergraduates, to be in the 4-year school, we hope all of our undergraduate mentors understand that the Alliance, anytime you have a student that has good quantitative skills and wants to go to any program, as David is naming, from finance to big data to biostat, we're very happy to have that as part of
Yeah, I think ultimately we want to help them find again where they're going to be happy and successful, and if it's not math, pure math, applied math, statistics, biostatistics, then we're not that exclusive. Other questions? Dave.
So just based on a couple of conversations we had last night at the fair, so the first question I have is whether there's any movement in statistics and math, the way there is in some other fields, to ditch the GRE as a requirement for grad programs. Partly because of its differential effect
Right,
on the
bias.
program that we're talking about.
So actually, that would be a great item for the stat chair meeting at JSM. Actually, I'll suggest that for, but I've been an advocate of that for a long time, I think, because of that, and it's not shown to be predictive of success in graduate school anyway, so, we're all data people, but I've never been able to convince people, and plus a lot of universities have that as a requirement. David, you've been...
Yeah, so first of all, in my department, I now no longer require the GRE of anything. We were requiring the deadline. So at least for the next 3 years, it would only do the experiment. But hopefully, we'll just forget it as an experiment. I do talk to a lot of people about it, and people have been coming up to me and talking about it. And I do actually think there is some kind of grassroots movement that could be put, more organized and could be better organized to do just this. And somebody just came up to me while I was at the booth at SAPNAS, who was from actually Harvard, Iowa, and he said, tell me what's your take on GREs? And he said, and their campus are having a lot of conversations, and there were several other people who I've run into recently at that same point of view. So I think it would be great, obviously, if someone else were able to sort of galvanize this idea among the people who are thinking that, because there's a lot of evidence that we should do.
Tell me your name again, I'm sorry. Paige. Okay.
So I went to a lunch of all of the directors of graduate studies for all of the graduate departments at Harvard University. So there's 66 departments, and we had a very lively debate on the topic of GREs and whether they should be required or not. One department, astronomy, has decided they no longer will even allow students to submit them. But I think one of the big issues that was of concern was for international students, it's often really an obstacle. They may have to fly to another country to even take some special subject test. And of course, there are cultural biases that are known. Our department currently is still requiring them, but we have a separate review process for anyone who is representing a minority where we totally sort of disregard them and look at those applications one by one as a whole. But I think the issue of saying that they're not predictive, I think among students who are accepted to the department, they're probably not as predictive.
That's true.
But those are the students who are accepted. It's a selected subset. And so the students who might have lower GRE scores who are accepted, they have something that's really standing out, that's making it clear that they are very clearly able to handle the level of the program. So I think it makes it hard to say they're not predictive among those that you accept.
Well, no, that's national. I mean, that's not, right. It's accepted to graduates.
Yeah. From being at a small school that's, we have 2 students in a class, or so, it's HBCU and inner city. How would a student have any clue of where they are in the realm of things? Based on everyone else in their class, they may be way better, right? But so to me, I would be concerned. I don't know the answer to that, because I don't think our students would do very well on them. And I think part of that is almost like a reading comprehension skill and thinking just different things like that they don't do on standardized tests. I don't know how we would judge the quality of their education. Does that make sense? I don't mean they should let them in or not let them in, but what kind of standardization, it doesn't have to be standard, but what kind of way of knowing what you're doing at this small kind of isolated school, how does that stand up to what other people are learning? So how would you guys judge that kind of thing?
So I'll let other people also, I think a lot of that is letters. We look very carefully at Drexel and people's letters, and we read what's on the page and what's not, and have call references before to talk to them about, what levels the student might be at, and what ability they have to do graduate work.
And in the Alliance, any student that comes from the Alliance, which goes to the SCAP. So we evaluate them independently. We use you, of course, and other members of the school board, what quality of courses, what quality of courses, and then we try to get a good sense of where the students go. If the students come through the Alliance, I think we have a much better.
Yeah, I guess I would just be curious, not a pro or con, anything, just curious how you would vet some of their background. Because GPAs maybe don't mean.
No, we know the school. No, you have to know the school. I think you have to know someone at every school like you, same thing like you do with Kevin. And this is really great. It's great. You know.
That's part of the importance of being here and being, not here this meeting, but this conference, and meeting faculty. I mean, Lester and I have been communicating now for like 8 or 9 years about students and making connections with faculty in different places, in different institutions, and then you have that level of comfort that you can call them and say, I have this great student, or I can call you and say, we have a student applied from your university, tell me more about that. So Laura has had some.
So one question that came up in our department when we were talking about whether to have the GRE or not is exactly that statement of, it doesn't say test to a graduate school, and what, of course, people asked was, but what about the quantitative? Has that been broken down to show that actually in math and other things, it doesn't predict?
I don't know. Have you known David?
Well, so there are a couple of studies that I've seen, but again, the studies are only on the young students who actually were accepted.
Yeah.
And that's sort of like, we don't know what would happen if some of those students are not accepted, but there are programs where they essentially ignore those, they ignore the GRE, they don't use it at all. And some of you say they don't even let the students submit it. By the way, as the NSF no longer does for the GRE. They do not accept them. They do not ask for the GRE. You can't even submit it for the graduate research. But anyway, so those programs seem to be quite successful. And then there's a study, but that's among, again, there's a study that's among those who are accepted, which says that the general GRE, I'm probably getting from verbal, it's a non-predictor for both men and women. For the quantitative is a non-predictor for men and a negative predictor for women.
So also, I think one thing that's important as we're talking about the GRE is to make sure students recognize that when an institution says our minimums are this, that those limitations apply there. That those are our guidelines, they're not necessary. As far as I know, most places don't. Well, I don't know. We don't get 600 applications.
That's not like someone asks below the minimum, it will be better to let us know so we will not automatically screen out.
Yeah. So we don't get so many applications, so we don't automatically screen people out based on, what our published minimums are, but maybe some places do, but it's definitely, yeah.
So I want to talk about the GRE, and I'm talking now as a statistician. So for me,
I can handle it.
so GRE, I'm talking as a statistician. For me, it's a piece of data. So I'm not making everything based on that, but if I have a choice of having more data or less data, I'll choose more data. It might be a very bad biomarker or marker, but it's still a marker. So I can choose to use it in the way I find fit. So
that's a fair point, Elder. The reason I bring it up is simply because a couple of the students last night were talking about this in the context of it's difficult for me to afford the exam, and I'm nervous because I haven't taken it. How much is that going to hurt me at Penn State if I apply? And so I don't know what to tell these kids,
So I saw now for the first time in my life someone who go to the first percentile. That means that 99% of the population did better than that application. So first percent in English, first percent in math. And you look at the grades, and the grades are good. So there is something there. So again, there are. So I'm not drinking. I've never seen it. It's, so
That's kind of amazing.
yeah, it is amazing. I just want to meet this person.
We had students, if I can say, we had students that I don't know, our students, who had GREs that were in the 20th percentile. I mean, that's one PhD, one got a successful.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So,
Still not seeing
yeah.
the other points like people who can't afford.
That's
Right.
It's a private company. And I don't know why we make anybody do anything. That's one company.
Right. Right, no, I think the idea, and so the place there, I can have influence on this. I am the person who plans the meeting for the stat chairs and the joint fiscal meeting for next year, so I can have that on the agenda, and we can talk about that with the stat and biostat chairs, so I think that would be a great topic.
I mean, I think it happens at the lower level of JC and SATs for college, and they've discovered the same thing in bodies predict their work. The thing I see again at an underprivileged school is they have never, taken in, prep courses and this and that, and experience of that, and computer courses, so it definitely puts them, I mean, I saw one of my students who was doing a practice test, and he was working every problem, and really kind of, not most of them, maybe wasn't super confident, might ask a question, I didn't have to answer the question, he could still do it, and then, he just bombed on it, and I think it's just one more negative. So I don't have an answer for that, but I think if they've turned into go take these prep courses, go do this, and, have access to those, that could be a disadvantage. But I think I agree with you, any data point is, you look at that and you look at all kinds of things. And maybe you just don't require more people can do, I don't have an answer, really.
Well, it'll be interesting to see what happens at the undergrad level now too, because University of Chicago, I think, was the first to say they're not requiring any standardized tests. And if they're doing it, it's gonna have a trickle-down effect, and so if it starts to happen more at the undergraduate level, I bet it'll happen more at the graduate level too.
Well, and in fact, that's what prompted the discussion that I overheard, is that all the best biology programs have dumped it now, and so Penn State is not going to be at a competitive disadvantage, so they're going to dump it too. Right? So it seems like as long as you get a few really solid programs to do this, then everybody will follow. But I don't know if that's the right thing.
Penn State, like one of the, what's the BMB within Evelyn?
BMN.
Yeah.
Yes,
Very
that's what I was at.
Yeah, so again, I think next year it'll be interesting to have this conversation. This is one conversation we should have every year. It'll be interesting to see how this changes with time, to see if it starts to move in that direction. I hope it does. I have a funny story. When I was a new assistant professor at UAE, I said, well, we should look at our applications, and we should fit a model to determine what factors, associated with success of our students. And they all made fun of me. I'm like, we are a biostatistics department. We should be looking at our data. But they made fun of me, and that was the end of that conversation. So I bet it comes back around. All right, yeah.
I have another question.
Yep.
How far does the statistics initiative reach as far down as academics is concerned? I'm concerned about the sizable number of minorities who go to community colleges, but they don't know that there's a world outside, past community college. Have you ever had a meeting at AMATIC and talked with the professors there about encouraging their students to go on to study statistics in the four-year schools?
We have not, but that was discussed at our board meeting in terms of general of talking with faculty of community colleges about data science. So this is no different than how we inform our colleagues in the community college community about not just math, not just data science, but all of the math sciences. I think it's a great idea, a great initiative that I think the Alliance is hoping to get more involved in as a whole. Hopefully that involves us as well.
Yeah, we're building into the regional alliance as best we can. So-
Yeah.
So anytime we have a new regional alliance, we stress that it would be great for community colleges to hear about all the different opportunities in the Atlantic country.
We have we've had two regional alliance meetings in the Gulf states. And I took it upon myself to personally write an email to every faculty member I could find in every community college in the state of Mississippi and the state of Louisiana. Not one single one came to our regional meeting. They're all very intimidating. I think they're afraid they're going to have a test. or something. We're gonna check, you know, examine them, see if they have the proper credentials to, you know, or something. I don't know what it is. And I have former Xavier graduates who teach in the community college.
You know, part of the problem, I think so far, we had this in New York, and some of the folks from deep down said, and this is the same thing about the relationships, in terms of academia. They said, we saw that with doctoral in your title, those are those just nothing to do with us. So that was really sad. That may be the same thing, and they think, look, you know, why would we have anything to do with a program that's
Well, so just another anecdote, and I'm so glad you asked that question. That is a fantastic question. I really wish we had a better answer to that. So we went out of our way to invite a bunch of high school teachers who might be teaching statistics for free. We would pay their entry fee to our conference on teaching statistics, and we got the local state college high school, and maybe one that was 13 miles away. None of the others. We must have sent out 40, 50 emails. That's all we got. And you know, and the people who are teaching, since it's the statistics line, people teaching statistics are not necessarily in math departments.
Exactly.
I can't even tell you who's teaching statistics within the Penn State system. Because if you go to Penn State Berks campus, it might be a psychologist or an economist.
Well, even with
Drexel,
Drexel, that's happening.
So I don't know how we interface with those folks, but it's a great problem.
in the, we have anybody from Southern California? It's not, but the Southern California Regional Alliance, Atlanta, California, actually got a grant 3 years now, that's entirely free in the summer. So she was summer program for them, introduced them to all the so that may be the way to go, is policy and partner with individuals there, and then build some kind of program just for you.
We should talk about that. Something we could do in Pennsylvania.
It's true.
That would be great.
Something else I wanted to bring up, that were other questions before we start thinking about things. One of the things we've talked about a few times, so right now, all the focus for statistics has been the graduate programs. And we haven't talked at all about the undergraduate statistics majors and what the role is and why. There's been all of this publicity about statistics being a sexy field and great field to go into. There's been huge growth in the number of undergraduates getting degrees in statistics. And so I'm not sure if we want to have any sort of discussion about that role for that in the Alliance. And we really haven't talked about bringing statistics majors into the field of dreams, and if that's something that we want to do as an Alliance.
Say something, say about the landscape again, where are they? Is it at both schools with graduate program? Where are the statistics?
But there are places like Smith College has a statistics degree now, Mount Holyoke, Xavier.
We have 2 statisticians on our math faculty, and we just created our first bachelor's in statistics.
Okay, so we need to sign them up also, anyone as a line manager, that's easy to do.
Okay.
Just tell us.
But are these undergraduate statistics programs outside of math department? In mine, it's within the math department already. So it's, when you contact the math faculty, you're contacting the statistics faculty at the same time. But are there any outside math?
We have 150 undergrads a year that graduate with a stat degree from the stat department.
But is there any?
Are there diverse?
Are there any stat majors at schools without graduate programs? Man,
Yeah, we have masters, and we are trying to establish a master in statistics now, so
Good.
political science, so we, but, you know, business of statistics now. We should treat it better.
So I think part of the roadblock for this is making sure those mentors who are in math departments that know that their statistics major students are eligible to be nominated for the conference.
and maybe I can just comment on, we already mentioned it, but I'll mention it again. You know, we have this summer program, this summer, from IMA, that's a 2 or 3 day program. We've got it funded, we don't know the dates yet. But the purpose of it is to send EdTech students and their mentors, right, not their facilitators, but their mentors, to this program to train them about non-mathematics.
Non-math side.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Well, maybe 5. But this is everything that's science all. So in particular, it would be great if we worked out about that as you nominate folks for entry, it would be greater to nominate people that are particularly interested in statistics or other non-man science.
And keeping an eye particularly for students who are underrepresented in our field.
Yes, yes.
That's still our goal.
Yes,
is
open
encourage-
Right.
Right.
Because
I know that a lot of the growth in some of these statistics programs have been at predominantly majority student institutions. We want to make sure that we're seeking out students who are underrepresented in the field still and encouraging them to get involved.
So can I just ask this, Leslie, if you know, how aware, I mean, there's sort of a charismatic group of well-known faculty members across the country that's very involved in developing the guidelines for undergraduate majors in statistics. I mean, this has been going on for a while. I don't know how many of them are actually even aware that the Alliance exists.
We've been trying really hard at JSM and other staff meetings to raise awareness, but it's really difficult because, as you know, JSM is extremely busy for everybody there. So even we've tried moving it around, we overlap the minority mentoring program often just because of logistics, and it's really hard to try to get the word out. It's been discussed at chair meetings numerous times now, both Catherine as a chair and involved in the Alliance, and since I've been chair. But it's really hard because everybody's really spread thin and doing a lot of different things, and you really have to have a passion for increasing diversity to get involved and really make a difference. So I think we have to find those in that group who have that passion as well.
Is there already a group that's, anyway, I just feel like I'll take personal responsibility. I haven't hammered enough on the people that I know would be interested in this. 'Cause
Well, so I think one of the things we've talked about, and now is probably time to work on it, is partnering with StatFest. And those are folks who are mostly working with undergrads who have interest in increasing diversity in statistics. So partnering with StatFest to help be involved, have some role. It's not clear what that role could be or how that could look. This is already both their ongoing organizations that have their process and fairly static, and not static like the change, but static, they know what they do to get the conference ready. So we don't want to come in and say, we want to make changes and make it more difficult for people. But we want to somehow hard to make sure that the faculty who are involved in StatFest then, and the students become aware of the Alliance and go back and say, this is a cool thing. Yeah.
Maybe someone from the Alliance could go to the StatFest meetings. I mean, I've gone to a few. I was actually on the planning committee for one a few years ago that was at the University of Chicago. And we were sort of modeling, not totally, but our regional, we're trying to get a regional alliance going. And so I think a lot of the things they do with StatFest would work real well. It's just broad, right? It's not just statistics fields. But maybe go the other way around. Instead of saying StatFest should come to this, maybe someone from the alliance.
Right.
And we
try. The problem for me has been that StatFest is in the same period of time fall where I have several other commitments already, so it hasn't been in a place that was close enough that I can get there easily without other commitments. So we're trying to get, but I think if there's some way we can work together too. So I'm not sure, do you know where it is next year? It was
in September. I think they should know already, right?
No, they know, they announced, I was there this one.
Yeah.
I think it's moving out further west.
It's Midwest somewhere.
Yeah, I can't remember where.
Where is it?
Okay,
So
so
we'll have to look it up and see. Yeah, they already know when and where it is.
And I think you guys have promoted in the Alliance newsletter,
Yes.
so maybe, for us that are interested, if we see it's near our university, or, maybe we volunteer to go.
Is that Emory?
No.
That's where.
Emily was last year.
2 years.
Yeah.
So you need to make sure you go.
That's piloted having a satellite site this year.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, so there were two, there was one in Pomona and one in Purdue.
Yeah.
And then
Was it remote in?
Yeah, and they let us use the lectures, and then they
Oh, great.
could just have local lectures in to fill the space in between.
How did it go?
It was okay. Ours happened to have been like the Saturday of the major football game. So, but there was
Much like this.
There was interest from the students, and I think regret that it took place on that day. And if people wanted to do satellite sites, maybe we could coordinate when the days should be planning ahead, right? So.
Purdue has major football. Teasing.
Little Big Ten
human.
Okay, so trying to link them with StatFest, if there are satellite sites, that could definitely help.
I don't know if they're open to having more, but Nick made it really easy, Nick and Renee made it really easy to have one, so.
Yeah,
I think Nick and Renee did a great job promoting StatFest this year, so.